Yo, this can end in a serious dilemma. Now that the country been run by labor, this pure mayhem, scandal, disorder. With this labor party in power, is this a social club in disguise? Or some kind of criminal enterprise? What a menace to society. This administration turning out to be the PM that a so-called advisor, telling people how to get away with murder. This non-stop attack on the treasury with paper daddy and man mixery. This labor bunch shot to the core, lacking integrity, that's for sure. Economy stalled, hard life crippling. We a collective menace to society. It's like it's all cheap and no Indian. It's like lunatics running the asylum without a plan, ideas or structure. It's the people who left to suffer. No pop, no peace, bare unemployment. No money for bills, much less enjoyment. Total advantage, that's we fake under these enemies of the state. AAG, can he get lawyer? He really a pamper playing labor ton politician now for sure. Going from door to door in number 4, law and order not a priority. No one in charge of the nation's safety. DAG join the cult of the greedy. We just a menace to society. Government buildings, well them the worst. We infrastructure seem like it costs. Electricity and water walk with the moon. Every month you hear the fix coming soon. Under labor life for this pure misery. Oppression, depression and tyranny. This gang is a menace to society. Life in SKN, this ain't no joke. Like the whole country going up in smoke. While Mr. Smiley and 10 money one busy fighting, jockeying for position. Lord have mercy upon all of we. With this menace to society. Government buildings, well them the worst. We infrastructure seem like it costs. Electricity and water up with the moon. Every month you hear the fix coming soon. Under labor life for this pure misery. Oppression, depression and tyranny. This gang is a menace to society. On SKN, this ain't no joke. Like the whole country going up in smoke. While Mr. Smiley and 10 money one busy fighting, jockeying for position. Lord have mercy upon all of we. With this menace to society. Society, them are enemies of the state. Lord of mercy, under the weight of the lies, they need their heart on show. They got to go, they got to go. It's menace to society, them are enemies of the state. Lord of mercy, under the weight of the lies, they need their heart on show. They got to go. Society, them are enemies of the state. Lord of mercy, under the weight of the lies, they need their heart on show. They got to go, oh. 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 Gatekeepers for the people.
Good evening, and we are on Unfiltered yet again. I am your host, Azad Gums, and here with me is Jeffrey Marisha. The last time Mr. Marisha was on Unfiltered, the day after he received his letter from the Drew-led administration sending him home. And so this is the second time that Mr. Marisha appears on Unfiltered, and I cannot imagine what you would receive tomorrow. It has been quite a journey since then, Marisha. I recall that you have severed ties with the Juled administration. In fact, you have become an advocate against the Juled Labour administration. I have often said that this administration care more about themselves than the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. This administration has become so unpopular in such a short time. And the people of St. Kitts and Nevis are suffering due to the incompetence of these ministers. The fact that these ministers don't care at all. And the fact that these ministers continue to show off, boast of their wealth, their high life status now, traveling here and there, not about the people's business, but about their own agenda. They increased their salaries up to 33%, whereby the average person in St. Kitts and Nevis have to work 2 and 3 jobs just to make ends meet. This is not a government that cares about the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. This is a selfish government led by Dr. Terence Drew. So, Jeffrey, welcome again to Unfiltered. And just on Friday, there was a match in the streets of Bastille. And the reason why I invited you again is because, the labor propaganda is out, spinning and turning what is supposed to be a match from the people of St. Kitts and Nevis against the labor administration into something that it is not. The labor administration is out there saying that this is a match about coalition parties and stuff like that. So, Jeffrey, could you explain to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis who was really behind the match on Friday and the purpose of the match?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Gums, for the invite. As you said, on the 11th of March 2025, our first conversation here resulted in me receiving what is considered, that was presented to me, a separation letter from the Labor administration there at the JNF. Um, I want to say good night to the good people of St. Kitts Nevis, locally, regional, and in the diaspora. Jeffrey Marisha, aka DJ Marisha. Everything about this young man is the love for St. Kitts Nevis. This is where my heart is, and its people from all walk of life. It doesn't matter what political party you support, we are only passing through. All of us will be gone eventually. We cannot take nothing with us. And that has been my view on life throughout my years, and I will maintain that. The short time we're going to be here this evening speaking, we don't really have enough time to cover everything. So I'm going to have to just run through a quick synopsis for people to understand that I was never a vocal person in terms of the political arena. I end up being vocal in this arena from 2020 when I was forced to lock down in quarantine during the COVID era. That is what brought me here. My podcast was basically to keep myself busy and on the other hand, let the general public know who choose to travel into St. Kitts Nevis what to expect and how to deal with stuff because it was not an easy task for some people. I am an electrician by trade, over 40 years of service. I work in the healthcare system in New York for almost 30 years. I work in various areas. I was a union rep, we call them delegate here, whatever you call them. I represent the workers. As a result of that, I had the opportunity to go to various trainings from hazmat, confined space training, workman camp, just to name a few. When it comes to work, facility management, I cover all areas in healthcare. So when I speak on healthcare, I am speaking from a position of knowledge, skills, and the ability to produce.
So, so you've given us your background.
Correct. Now, politically, I was never into politics, like I said.
Mhm.
is because of the treatment that I received in 2020 from the then Team Unity administration, why I had to get into the political arena. And just to back up, people keep saying that I don't like Pam. I hate Pam. I grew up in St. Paul's. Anyone that knows the culture of politics in St. Kitts, if you're from St. Paul's, you are labeled a labor man.
Yeah, because there was who said um, that Jeffrey, when I asked the question on the last unfiltered conversation, said that he could never support the People's Action Movement and that you had, in the past, made some remarks not in any favorable light for the People's Action Movement. So, what is your
Well, I can say this,
response to that?
I can say this to you as well. We are human beings. And you and I are speaking now at a level, and you and I could agree to something now. You support your PAM party.
Yes.
I represent the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. I don't represent parties. This is why this coalition I put together, I call it the Citizens Empowerment Coalition, not Marisha Party, not PAM Party, not PLP, not CCN.
And
not
that is another issue too, because persons said, some persons on the sidelines would have said that the match was a launch of your party. In fact, that was not the message that I received. And so I would like you to tell the listeners out there what was the purpose of the match on Friday, because the Labour Party is doing all it can to make to dice up the information.
all of that is understandable, Brother Grumps, and that is why just give me a little opportunity. I will break it down for the people.
Okay, go ahead, Joe.
All right, just give me an opportunity. Now, as I started saying, I was never into the politics. They said I was Labour because I'm from St. Paul's. Then on the flip side of that, the majority of my associates at the time was PAM. People like the King Socrates, Tony Hendrickson, the King Sweeney, and many others that I associate myself with was all PAM supporters. So in the minds of the Labour people, I am a PAM. As a matter of fact, if people will go back to, there was a year that Socrates sang a song, Fans Advice. I was at the Calypso show, nothing was planned. But after Socrates finished singing his first song, he said he did not have a presentation and he asked me to help him out. So I went on stage and made the presentation and he won the crown that night. Basically, when I got to St. Paul's the next day, it was a big thing. You give Socrates the crown, whatever, whatever. I was not a judge. So I am saying that politically, I get it from both sides. In the minds of the PAM people, I am a PAM, I am a Labour because I'm from St. Paul's. In the minds of the St. Paul's people, I am a PAM because I associate with the PAM people. So let me speak clear to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Yeah.
I am about the development, the future, and the citizens of our beloved federation. And from where I sit right now and where I stand, is that the people that need the help most have yet to receive it. When I spoke with Brother Sam Kanda back in 2013, 2014, when they decided to break away from Dr. Douglas,
Yes.
I did not know Dwyer that well. I heard of him. I did not know the other people involved in the PLP that well. I knew Sam. I took Sam's word when he was saying what the Labour Party was doing and why he decided he wanted to pull away. Ain't no different to what Sam did then to what I am doing now. If things are done right, I'm going to support it wholeheartedly. If it is wrong, I will call it out. Now, fast forward, Sam and Dwyer team up with Dr. Harris, who became the leader of PLP, and they formed a coalition government called the Team Unity. I, for one, based on all the information that was presented to me, based on my experience with Dr. Douglas, because I thought he lost his way. He started off good, he did some good things, but I thought he lost his way. So I make that conscious decision to say publicly, after 20 years, it's time to try something new. Not that I hate Douglas. We maintain that friendship, villagers and stuff like that. But for the benefit of the country, we had to move on. The Team Unity doing their stuff, and it was not too long after they got into office. It was just like during this time is the UN Assembly, United Nations. They have their assembly in September, October. In 2015, when they came to New York, I provided the PA system for a meeting at a town hall meeting at the church basement in New York, where Dr. Harris, Brantley, and the team came and they addressed the citizens. There was many questions asked there. I asked a question: what's the status of this term limits on the prime ministership? Because I support that. I believe that prime ministers, when they're there too long, they get the idea that they could do as they please and nobody's supposed to tell them nothing. So I support the term limits. Dr. Harris said to me at that time that the following year, around that time, he will ensure that this matter is tabled and the act is there. I leave it at that. There was a gentleman by the name of Mr. Lionel Hawley, who is a strong PAM supporter, elder guy. And he asked the question about the Marriott Hotel. Why is it they're collecting taxes from visitors or tourists, guests in general, but yet not turning it over to the government?
Mhm.
Dr. Harris responded to the gentleman saying that that is from the farm administration. Well, I took issues with that simply because Dr. Harris was a part of that party. Sam Kanda was a part of that party. So after the meeting, I pulled up Sam and I said, listen, man, you guys cannot come here because you now form a new party and in government and divorce yourself from what took place in the previous Labour administration. Then I'm going to look at you all in a different light. Accept the responsibility, accept that the mistakes were made, and let's correct them moving forward. So that was my first main issue with people misleading the citizens. Fast forward to that in 21, I think it was 2021, during the independence celebration, I understand 3 individuals was arrested. A gentleman by the name of Malcolm Shaq was one of those 3 people, and my cousin. I had an issue with that. We have a constitution. You have a right to freedom of speech, freedom of expression. So the DJ kicked into gear at that time and tried to reach out to the various candidates. I called the Prime Minister, no response. I called Sean Richard, no response. I called Mark Banton, no response. The only person that picked up the phone and spoke to me was the late Vance Henry, because I wanted to know what the hell is going on in our beloved federation. Why are you arresting people for carrying placards? Right? Now, Mr. Emery explained to me that he's not an elected member of the party, so he don't really have a say in cabinet, but he have an issue with the same thing, and when I come down, we will talk. Nevertheless, we never really know this March business. We everybody making a big deal about this March thing. What is happening today? What Friday? It's really no different to what took place in 22 when I marched. And the crowd on Friday was much bigger than what I had in 22.
In fact, I think we have a video of the match sometime in 2021, whereby as you have said before, that the now Prime Minister, Dr. Terence Drew, would have acts that you delay the time for the match.
I'm trying to.
We have a
Yeah.
lot of issues to cover.
Yes, and I'm gonna give you the synopsis in less than 5 minutes. Now I just want to explain the match process. The first protest, the first demonstration, initially in Manhattan, New York, we went to visit our then ambassador, Ian Patches Library. And he did not take the visit.
So the video here is of the match in 2021, and as you can see there are few persons. I see Juport. I see some
That was
persons.
actually the second match.
So this was the second match.
That was actually the second match. The
Yes.
very first match. What I'm saying is I did a protest in New York.
Yes, but the
And
one that we're looking at now, it's on the screen, is the one in St. Kitts and Nevis.
That was the second
That's
match.
the second one.
The first match that I
Yes.
applied for, basically, I was denied permission to match, claiming COVID concerns.
Yes.
And I did my homework and went and realized that while they turned down my match, saying that the number of people, which is 100 persons I applied for on the street, was going to create issues with COVID. A couple days later, there was an event over in Large Village in the community center. The same one, all of them was there for a domino tournament on behalf of the PLP. So I challenged them on that.
But Jeffrey, I understand you want to give context to the past, but I want us to, as much as possible, speak about the present.
Yeah, we're going to get there, but let you know where you're coming from.
Yeah,
if you want to know where you're going. So just give me 2 minutes.
Okay.
Let me take you there.
Okay.
Right? Now, the second match I applied for, I want you to understand what the system was then. We cannot talk about one party and not the next. That party, PLP, CCM and PAM, they did not do everything 100%. I was challenging them because of what they were doing.
Okay.
Right? So just as I'm challenging the Labour Party now, ain't no different to what I challenge.
So tell me now.
So I am telling you, and if you give me 2 minutes to finish that, you're gonna get what you want, because you want to hear about Labour. But it's not just about
No, I don't want to hear about Labour. I want us to discuss what took place on Friday, because there's some misconceptions.
We're gonna get right there now.
There's some misconceptions as to what happened on Friday.
Okay, we're gonna get there right now. But I want you to understand that second match was approved hours before that match was scheduled to take place. Up until that night, after midnight, I got a call from a police officer. The match was not approved. I got that match approved the morning of the match, sometime after 6:30, 7 o'clock. That was under the previous administration. Under this administration, on Friday, last Friday gone, that was the 26th of September. That's where you want to go. The purpose of the match, Mr. Gums, anyone who have been following my podcast would know that I have been following the CBI matter. The CBI matter with the underselling of the passports, that prison project in Estridge, where this guy, MSR Media, and Mr. Philip Martinez, who was the first public benefit act, he was the first benefit factor, I think they call it, that he came into Nevis during COVID, came across the St. Kitts under the Team Unity, and he was given the first benefactor of the CBI under the Labour administration in November of 23, I think it was, when he purchased the OTI. Whatever issues he had with the government then, whatever was promised to him, that the government did not live up to. And it became a big thing where he found out that the prison project that was supposed to be built at a cost of 40 million, that the equivalent of 900 plus million was given in CORs, in files for that prison project. which adding in excess of 22,000 citizenship to this country. Almost half of our population. Now, if you listen to the Prime Minister Joe recently in Parliament, he spoke on that. And he presented to the country that the citizens should be upset and angry at this because no leader should be putting an extra 20 plus thousand citizenship added to the country's already population for a prison. And I don't think that you guys have taken the time out to go into that prison to understand what's going on up there. Number one, the prison, according to information I received, did not receive a project construction, a building construction permit. So it could be very well be an illegal project going on up there where they're knocking down local citizens' little shed that they're adding on their house. The project up there, we campaigned in 22, the Labour Party. We campaigned about stopping it because it was a corrupt project and it was illegal. We campaigned on that. The impression that Prime Minister Joe and the Labour Party gave to the citizens, including this DJ, is that the project would be stopped when they took office, and it was stopped when they took office. When I visit for myself, I can say to you, the structures that started under the Team Unity administration, those are still sitting there in the ground, overgrown by grass. But there are new structures, much more than what was there before, that are in full flight.
Okay, so the reason why I asked you the purpose of the match, because there's several misconceptions. I know when you extended the invitation.
Yes, but I'm giving you several things. It is not just about the match.
No, I'm not saying that it's just about the match. I'm saying that, and what I wanted to clear up now, because there's some misconceptions, is the purpose behind the match. On Friday, I recall the invitation was extended to the People's Action Movement and the people, several candidates, including myself, showed up on the match because what we were told was the fact that we are marching for there are different concerns that persons have under this administration. And so we addressed our concerns at the match that was organized by you. And so I simply into the persons because there are so many. They're saying that persons mad for land,
which I am trying to do because there's so many things I am saying to you. My main concern and disagreement with government initially was this prison project.
Yes, and I understand
that initially. But I am saying to you from there, there's so many other things that came up.
Yeah, and I just want
the Crystal Harbor, that matter came up where we found out that under the former Labour administration with Douglas, acquirement of lands and the southeast that was given to a gentleman by the name of Buddy Darby. We are finding out now that the seabed was leased for some 99. I did not know that. I just find out that during the Prime Minister roundtable and all of what was going on, I found out, you guys like to say it's alleged, but I have documents to prove that the lands that was acquired by Douglas, it was not for locals, it was to give to a foreign entity. It was alleged that that foreign entity received some 16 million US dollars from the SIDF. It was not to invest in St. Kitts. It was to cover some bill overseas. We found out later that another amount of money came from National Bank for the same entity. Where the money went, what it did, I do not know. But what I know, based on conversation from our sitting Prime Minister, is that that company, what arrangement they had with the former Labour administration was in 20 years, they will bring some $17 billion into the economy. It did not happen. Now, we have a problem there. Where did you have a problem? Just bear with me. We're gonna get to where you want to get.
DJ, we only have a half an hour left,
You-
and the program will close within a half an
In
hour.
fact, give me 5 to 7 minutes, and I'm gonna cover this area for you, and
Okay.
you'll have everything else to
Okay.
say.
I'm just telling you.
Just give me 5 to
Keep
7
it.
minutes. I'm gonna cover it for you, right? Now, in 20 years, the $17 billion did not come into the country, which means that company did not live up to the obligation. So I understand there is some court matter in regards to National Bank that there was some ruling for lands to be sold or exchanged to recoup some funds. That did not happen. I heard the Prime Minister said that there was some negotiations for sale of whatever at the Crystal Harbor Marina 2 weeks back. And we need to follow these things because people just out there supporting a political party and not following the issue. My concern is, and I'm going to tie this so that you would understand where I'm going. We got a gentleman in New Guinea, whatever issue him and the government have. This is a local individual that have invested millions in that area. And you are giving him a rough time. You want to evict him. I have seen the documents that were sent to him. You're pressuring him for a piece of land that initially cost some 6 point whatever million. The government owed him money. The current AG now was his lawyer back then, representing him, who is now enforcing that that land is to be paid double. Which this AG, because he knows the situation, should have been able to fast track and help our local man. But they're more concerned about foreign investors. And I have a problem with that. We fast forward now to Glen Barrow. Mr. Glen Barrow have an issue as well. Local man. There's a company in Nevis that's supposed to be putting down some marina. Again, that marina, I understand, is locals competing with Christoph Harbour. There's a gentleman, he could send me a lawyer letter tomorrow. I understand by the name of Peter Jenkins, who was hired by the bank as an engineer to investigate that matter to bring back information. But there's some situation the way I understand that this young man is members of various boards. He's a member of the board of National Bank, members of the board at Christoph Harbour, and still doing engineering work. How could one individual be involved doing all of these things and the disputes surround those people?
So therefore, the match was on several issues.
Several issues. What I'm trying to
so I know what you're trying to make. I'm just trying to bring it all together. So the match was on several issues.
And the major issue that came in the end was this SSC zone, special what they call it, economic zone and Nevis.
So let me ask you.
Let me finish that, and then you can ask all the question. Let me finish this one.
I gave you so much
time.
time.
Let me finish this one. You give me 7 minutes yet. I'm gonna take me 7 minutes.
We've already had about 30 minutes.
No,
but go ahead.
Give me 7 minutes. My problem with what is happening, the Prime Minister came on his platform, the round table or whatever, and trying to tell us, this is just not saying it's Nevis. Whatever going on in Nevis with this land, this SSC zone, leave him out of it. He has nothing to do with Nevis land. My issue with the Prime Minister is you're the one that bring it to Parliament. You didn't have to touch it because the Constitution gives Nevis, the NIA, control over what to do with their lands. So why did you get involved if you didn't want to get involved in it? But the pushback that they're getting now is for the wrongs that they did. Because weeks earlier, there was a town hall in Nevis back in July where citizens asked questions, where the Premier denied knowing anything about this zone. What, a couple of weeks later, you're in Parliament, passing a law for the same thing, and a couple of days later, somebody submitted an application for the same zone. So I am saying to you, let the people understand this. The march on Friday was about saving our country, saving our nation, our political parties. When I reach out to the various political parties, I am saying to them, you all need to step up on this. If you speak to your former leader, Sean Richards, he will tell you that I call him. And I say, Sean, with all of these lies that have been told in Parliament by this current Prime Minister, is it anything in the law that he could be charged for these lies that he's telling the citizens? He told me he's not sure. I said, well, is there anything can be done for these matters to be addressed in Parliament? He told me that there's a section where ministers can speak. I forget the terminology he used.
You're talking about parliamentary immunity?
No. When they want to address the matter. Statements from ministers. And I asked him, would you please, if nothing else, this lie that the Prime Minister have told in Parliament about the prison project, so trying to blame the former administration when he's the one, according to the information, have signed off on most of those CORs that have us in the problem that we have. Can you guys bring it to the floor? So the reality of going to a march, people are going to say, oh, why can't you speak to the minister privately? If you listen to my podcast, I said it to the Prime Minister before he was elected Prime Minister.
Let me ask you a question, Jeffrey.
Let me finish my thought, please. Just before you elected Prime Minister, I said to you, as long as you guys are accessible, we will talk privately. If you are not accessible, we will speak publicly. Since he is Prime Minister, I told him the same thing on my podcast. Mr. Prime Minister, as long as you guys are accessible, we will have the conversation privately.
Okay, so
as long as you're not accessible, we're going to do it publicly. On Friday, I was prepared to march by myself. I have done it before. But the idea is, if you guys, PAM, PLP, whoever candidates who are vowing to become a leader in this federation, and you're not paying attention to the issues, when people are going to ask me what the march is about, I ask them, are you living in St. Kitts? Reggie Francis could not march on Friday with us, though he wanted to. Do you know why?
Well, that's another question.
Do you know why?
That was another question, because there are several persons who said that the match was about Reggie.
Reggie was part of the issue.
Okay, hold on, Jeffrey. The reason for this show this evening is not to cast anything, it's to clear up
and I'm trying to do
some of the misunderstandings, some of the misconceptions. And so that is why now some persons thought that the match was about Reggie. I know when we got there, and I know what I was there at the match. I was there because I know that this Labour administration is not performing to the standard that the people of St. Kitts and Nevis thought they would have been. There have been a number of false promises. If you look at the People's Action Movement, and when we spoke to the people directly on the non-performance of the Labour government, and the people that the People's Action Movement is the party to take St. Kitts and Nevis to this next step. And so that is why I am saying, to the point that that match was a combination of individuals speaking about issues that concern them against the Labour administration.
I put that match together wholeheartedly to bring awareness to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, because I'm going to call it but as a on the ground here in St. Kitts and Nevis, on the ground, the people are fed up. They know the facts. Those matches, I know people are afraid of the victimization.
They are.
I don't expect them to fold the street.
They are afraid.
The awareness I brought on Friday is for the people who are not here to see for themselves. Do you know how successful this march was? I tell people all the time, don't look at the street. Check my numbers online. That is where my strength is. Because within the last 3 weeks, if you have been following the conversation within the last 3 weeks, and more so within the last week, and from Friday to now, when they're talking, whether it's about me drinking a skull, whether it's about me want to be a part of PAM and all of this kind of nonsense, the conversation.
They're also saying that the match was a launch of your political party.
All of that. The conversation brings what the message was. The message was to bring a conversation. Since we cannot have it in the halls of the Prime Minister's boardroom as a collective, If the Prime Minister and the AG was taking calls like they used to, I could have simply requested a meeting with the Prime Minister and his team, ask PAM, CCM, NRP, PLP to send a representative, whether they want to talk to a leader or not. It's about the country. We could have had this conversation in the Prime Minister's boardroom and not in the public. But they choose not to have that conversation. So we have to come into the public. Mr. Gums, I have a copy of the letter from the AG's office to Mr. Francis, stating they're giving him the option if he does not withdraw his claims against the government, they will proceed with eviction by the 15th of September. They gave him until the 15th of September to withdraw all claims. They owe him millions of dollars, more than what he owed them for the piece of land. So the DJ is supposed to sit back because it's going to be a little painful that people are going to call me out by names and then to the wicked act of this labor administration? The answer is no. I would use another word if I was on my podcast, but I would not respect your page. But the answer is no. Now, the march was about several issues, Mr. Gums. And even you, I saw a post from you stating reasons why you're going to march on Friday. Mm-hmm. So the question you're asking, you answer it for yourself, right? Because between yourself, Mr. Mr. Nubian, you all represent yourself well even prior to the match. And I can say this, your leader, Sister Shadegwe, it was my first experience with her. I was very impressed with her presentation. Between Shani, the gentleman from Mr. Tulu, the gentleman from Pierre, Mr. Lawrence, you, Nubian Troy, and a couple of the regular citizens, my partner, Dr. Garfield Alexander, your messages rode through the Federation. And there's no kind of distraction about crowd that any one of those labor fake machinery going to come with that's going to deter this DJ from doing the right thing. I said on Friday that until such time, there'll be a march each month. Mr. Gums, I already put in for my permit for the 31st of October. That will be the next march. If I have to march by myself to save this country, I will. I was saying earlier, before you push me forward, I want you to understand something. I marched in New York, and the fake pages came out and said I was, what they call it, I failed because I had less than a dozen people. I came down to St. Kitts, I marched through the streets of Bastille by myself. I came back with a second march. Dr. Joe wanted the photo up. He wanted to get into office. He reached out to me from wherever he was at a funeral. Messages, phone calls, sending messages to me. Please do not end the march before he gets there. He wanted to be a part of the march. When they did not give me a permit the first time, Dr. Joe, he called me, asked me what happened. When I told him what happened, he went on his Facebook page and he put up a post. Let DJ Marisha march is his right. Well, it was my right in 22 to march. It's not my right today. Back in 22, it was my right. But today, I am trying to destroy a country for the same things and worse. Dr. Joe done worse than the former Prime Minister. He could do better. I don't know whether he's listening to the wrong people or he just lost sight of what he campaigned on. We gave them a mandate. You got to understand something, Brother Gums. I fought Dr. Douglas to bring Dr. Joe as leader of the Labour Party. I went against Dr. Douglas, my villager. When Dr. Joe was campaigning for leader of Labour and Douglas asking for more time, it was a big bacchanal within the Labour Party. The party split three ways then. It's still split now. And that's one of the reasons why the Labour Party, the government cannot function properly because of the infight, right? So I am saying, I fought then for you, Dr. Joe, because you promised you'll do better. I come back and I fought a government, 3 parties for you, because you say you can improve. And you come in there, you promise you're the Prime Minister for St. Kitts and Nevis. Nevis is 5 minutes across the road, you know, Brother Gums. The Prime Minister is yet to do the town hall that he promised. After 3 years in office.
He might do it now. Haven't heard
After 3 years in office.
He might do it now.
He's yet to do the town hall in Nevis, but he already made several trips to Africa. I understand even charter flights. He have made several trips to Dubai, to the Middle East, to the UK, to Canada. This is what the march is about, bringing awareness.
On several issues.
Several issues. We cannot speak about all the issues tonight. But I want to say this, and I want people to understand this. For the people that support the Labour Party, who is out there spinning, trying to discredit the DJ, I understand it. I get it. It's not going to stop me from what I'm doing. The whole matter is that, keep in mind, I don't want to bring this straight to your attention before we sign out. We spoke about the healthcare failing a couple of weeks ago because of political victimization. The inexperienced peers that they have now running the healthcare system. He's on a plane like the Prime Minister, flying here, flying there, photo ops here, photo ops there. What was their answer to the failing matters at the JNF? Their answer was to give everybody no uniform, to give everybody their ID, and to do all kind of manner of evil to impress visitors alike. But what have happened since? A decline in the dialysis unit, no reagents for weeks. Patients cannot get their treatment 3 times a week as they're supposed to. Several patients die as a result of renal failure. And most recently, two Wednesdays ago, when I broke the news that they run out of reagents and they was trying to get reagents in and they could not get it in, they tried the RSS to bring in some emergency, which they got. Still not enough, but some came in. The DHI, the same night, it was on the 17th of September, released a press release saying that it was a technical issue that they have, why there was a dialysis taking place, but they're going to reinstate it the same night, Wednesday. People reach out to me. That was not true, because up to the weekend, people still who should have gotten treatment did not get any. A day later, the inexperienced PS came out and support what I said, because he came out to the press release with his pictures like he always do for photo ops with boxes on his shoulder saying a second shipment of reagents came in. But not only that, but Gums, I think I'm getting more information than you guys, because Wednesday while I was live, I got a message that the dialysis unit shut down again until the weekend because they're out of reagent. A gentleman from Nevis, I understand he's a teacher, a young gentleman, was supposed to get treatment on Thursday or Friday. He could not be treated because there was no reagent. When they called him and tell him that he could be treated on Saturday before he could get his treatment, he was dead. You all have to understand this. The 1 or 2 people that are running around who might be board members or advisors or whatever, they are not feeling it now. But any one of us could get sick. Any one of us could end up in this situation. I tell them before, when you die for good, you're not coming back. Whoever believes in the afterlife is fine. They could believe in that. But I want to believe that when I leave this earth, a lot of them I'm not going to see, and I'm glad, because I don't want to see them again. We cannot be this nasty, dirty human that just grabbing everything we can get. You know, I have a post to post, and somebody gonna be upset with me because there's some of them with undertaker homes. They take from the living, and even when you die, they're grabbing the bodies from the hospital, even they belong to other funeral homes. So either way, they're benefiting. But that comes this DJ. You say you're unfiltered? I'm the perfect person. I am unfiltered. I don't have anything to lie about. I don't polish anything. I give you the facts. So for the people out there who may be watching this broadcast and want to challenge the DJ, I'm open. No amount of fake news going to stop me from bringing the message to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. And as I said on Friday, it doesn't matter to me who is the leadership. This is about the people. And if the people decide they want a PAM leadership in the next government, that is the people's decision. I'll accept it. If the people decide they want a PLP leadership in the next election, I have to accept it. If they want a CCM or NRP, fine. I have been challenged time and time again. Mr. Marisha, you have supported a couple of candidates over the years, and they keep disappointing you. Look at how doctors disappoint you. Why don't you do it yourself? Mr. Azad, I took the call of the people and I registered a coalition for independent candidates. And I said, my intention at whatever level is to sit in that cabinet room, at that cabinet table, that when you're elected, and as you're going on the wrong road, I can say to you, Mr. Gomes, that ain't gonna happen. Whenever Shani is elected, whenever Mr. Gray is elected, if Timothy is elected, if Mark Bantu become Prime Minister, I must be able to tell him, not this time. Whatever you did before, not this time. The reality of the day is that Labour is not the answer. Dr. Drew is not the answer. I thought so. I've apologized to the people several times, and I will continue to do it because I was one of the individuals that said the change that this country needs is Dr. Drew. He can make that change. He has disappointed me. So you're going to tell me because I supported you, Mr. Gomes, because I supported the Prime Minister in the past, and I'm seeing going on the wrong road, I'm not supposed to say anything about it. I'm supposed to stay quiet because I need to get a salary, because I need a favor. It's not going to happen. So for the people out there that have an issue with me, I know at some point in time I got to leave this earth. I got to die. I won't be speaking for myself. But my record will speak for me. And my record is going to be honesty. Honesty. And the fact that I defend this land, because this land did a lot for me.
Okay, so I know that we've had a very fruitful discussion. I know you had a lot to speak about. Again, when I looked at this program, I realized that there were some misconceptions going on as it relates to the match, the organizer of the match. As you said, you are the one who organized the match. You said that it was based on a number of issues. I assume you reached out to the different political parties because we too got an invitation and we spoke on matters that affect the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. We've had our pop-up meetings, and during our pop-up meetings, we speak about the issues facing the people. And during the match that you held, there was myself, there was our leader, Natasha, there was the candidate for number 2, Nobian, there was Troy as well, the former candidate for 6. And we spoke about a number of issues. Troy spoke about the farmers. I spoke about not Labour again, because the Labour administration has been one of the worst performing administration to date, in my opinion, and the opinion of many people.
And that's a fact.
Yes. And so Natasha, our leader, spoke about people time, that this is now the people's time to get back what they have lost. Nubian spoke about a number of issues, them traveling, the lack of housing. And so the People's Action Movement at that point in time stand in solidarity with you and others as we relate to the issues facing the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, because we believe that these concerns are valid, that these are valid concerns. And so, I mean, at the end of the day, there was a number of persons watching on. The view of the person's review, I think the message was well received by persons out there in terms of that this administration is clearly not performing. We've seen how the administration has treated its own supporters are the ones who are most dissatisfied. A lot of persons, including yourself, um, went in tooth and nail in terms of the support that you gave um, for the Labour administration. You will have sacrificed your time. When you tell me about the call that Dr. Drew gave to you to be a part of the match, I'm sure you're not even receiving those calls now.
No,
Conversation.
I stopped receiving those calls some months now.
Yes. And so, but you're not the only one who supported Dr. Drew and Labour, who have now shown the because as you say, it's about country, about self, rather than personalities and people. It's about principle. And the sad reality is that the Labour administration is not performing.
I'm glad they use the word principle, because a lot of people out there running them out, they don't have no principles and they're not ethical. Because there are several of them out there right now that is humming around on social media, talking about the best Labour Party ever since. They talk to me privately. Many of them get more knockabout than me, got treated worse than me. One thing I want to get clear, and I've been waiting for this opportunity. We're talking about celebrating 42 years of independence. And it's despite of how anybody may feel about Dr. Simmons, he was the one that was the premier when we went into independence. So when you're all talking about father of the nation, unless I want to give the country a wrong father, Simmons is the father of the nation.
I agree. And
whatever credit must be given to Batcher for his work, go ahead, give it to Batcher. But Dr. Simmons, so Dr. Kennedy Simmons, he's the one that set this country into independence. So he is the father of this 42-year-old nation. And I want you all to understand that. And this DJ ain't gonna settle for less.
Indeed. And as you said, DJ, there's so many persons like yourself who champion behind Dr. Drew, who has, he has failed the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. His administration is poorly performing. And of course, the People's Action Movement stands ready in solidarity with the people of St. Kitts and Nevis to ensure that this administration, and of course, we only could do it with the help of the people. Our message out there has been consistent. Labour has not been performing. The People's Action Movement has been the party that has put people first and has brought the greatest accomplishments to St. Kitts and Nevis when in government. In fact, they talk about the People's Action Movement forming coalition, but the People's Action Movement, when in coalition, has the greatest number of seats and would have been the driving force to a lot of these developments. And so I cannot leave tonight without talking about the People's Action Movement and how the People's Action Movement, when the next election is called, when we form government, that it's going to be a people's first agenda where we put the people of St. Kitts and Nevis first, not just by words, but by action. So DJ, I want to say thank you for accepting this invitation. It has been a good discussion. I know certain parts of it I was trying to get you to speed along. I know that this is, we have limited time to get the program running, and I wanted to capture as much as possible.
I understood.
Yeah, I
understood.
As
but
much as
in
possible.
closing, I want to say one thing to them. If they think that meeting on Friday was a failure, tell them ring the bell. Ring the bell.
You bring up that issue, and I said to them, one time I put a post, because they keep saying that the People's Action Movement is dead. But if you are such a strong government and you feel that the People's Action Movement is weak and the other parties are weak, why don't you take advantage? Why don't you ring the bell? Why don't you call an election and put an end to these parties that you say are so weak? The reality is the Labour administration knows that they have not performed. They know they have not delivered for for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, and they have nothing to campaign on if a bell is rung. They have nothing to campaign on.
And because you were pushing me along, if you give me 30 seconds, I was about to say to you, the reason why Reggie could not march on Friday, and this is something I found out late Thursday evening. Reggie is a lieutenant in the Defense Force here in St. Kitts. I do not know if folks are aware that the Defense Force is under the Governor General, by extension, the King, which is a foreign power. The police is under the Minister of National Security. Had Reggie take part in that march, he would have been arrested and decommissioned and would have lost a lot. So I advise him, stay away. He said to me, Marisha, I'm not going to let you go into this on your own. I said, Reggie, stay away. Do not give them that opportunity.
I'm glad you explained that, because there were some persons who said that Reggie did not show up and said, well, this match is about Reggie, and Reggie did not show up.
Reggie showed up more than anybody else. Reggie did his part. Reggie did everything he can do to ensure that this match take place. And if it was up to Reggie, Reggie would have shown up. Reggie would have been arrested. Reggie would have lost everything. Reggie would have lost that business he had in New Guinea. And for a man in that position who can do so much for this country and who have done so much for this country, I said to him, leave it to the DJ. Stay away.
Well, DJ, as you said before, you're hosting another match, and you've already applied for the permit.
Correct.
And you are continuing to speak on the issues.
Correct.
But I'll tell you this, that the People's Action Movement will continue to speak on issues as well. We'll continue to do what we can to ensure that the people of St. Kitts and Nevis is in a better place, because this is no place for us to be. The people of St. Kitts and Nevis are terribly disappointed by the Labour administration led by Dr. Terence Stroh, and we will continue to fight on the people's behalf. Thank you for accepting the invitation.
Yes. And I want to challenge the Prime Minister. They love to come with their cameras when they turn in that. They say they turn in that for a smart hospital, right? And a smart school. Let them take the cameras to the H3 estate, to the prison that is under construction. Show the citizens what is taking place there. And I also wanted to tell us about the millions that is missing from these 2,400 smart homes that is yet to be built. This is what March is about, awareness.
And we'll continue to put the government's feet to the fire and to keep them accountable, because transparency is what they ran on, and it has been as opaque as
good governance. The good governance agenda. There's a freedom of information and integrity in public life. They neither are governing or they don't have the integrity.
You said it, DJ, not me. Thank you for being a part of the program, and we will tune in. I ask you to share the live. I'm also asking you to subscribe to the YouTube channel at Azad Gums and continue to follow me at Azad Gums. Thank you.
And the fight continue Wednesday night, I'll light them up Wednesday night.
Okay, we'll continue.
Don't only get better.
Yes. So there are so many, as I like to say, freedom fighters out there fighting on behalf of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. And the People's Action Movement is one of those persons, the party. We are here to fight on behalf of the people of St. Kitts.
And for the people who feel like they do not know what the marches are about or what we're talking about, they open to any conversation. If I'm drinking my skull, I'm not drunk. The place is hot.
Yeah.
Feel free to talk to me.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Lord, this can end in a serious dilemma. Now that the country been run by labor, this pure mayhem, scandal, disorder. With this Labour Party in power, is this a social club in disguise? Or some kind of criminal enterprise? What a menace to society this administration turning out to be. The PM got a so-called advisor telling people how to get away with murder. This non-stop attack on the treasury with the daddy and man sorry. This Labour bunch shot to the core, lacking integrity, that's for sure. Economy stalled, hard life crippling, we a collective menace, menace, menace. to society. It's like it's all cheap and no India. It's like lunatics running the asylum without a plan, ideas or structure. It's the people who left to suffer. No pub, no peace, bare unemployment. No money for bills, much less enjoyment. Total advantage, that's we fake under these enemies of the state. AAG, can he get liar? He really a proper plain labor third politician now for sure. Going from door to door in number 4, law and order not a priority. No one in charge of the nation's safety. DAG join the cult and the greedy. We just a menace to society. Government buildings, well them the worst. We infrastructure seem like it costs. Electricity and water walk with the moon. Every month you hear the fix coming soon. Under labor life for this pure misery. Oppression, depression and tyranny. This gang is a menace to society. Life in SKN, this ain't no joke. Like the whole country going up in smoke. While Mr. Smiley and 10 money one busy fighting, jacking for position. Lord have mercy upon all of we. With this menace to society. Government buildings, well them the worst. We infrastructure seem like it costs. Electricity and water walk with the moon. Every month you hear the fix coming soon. Under labor life for this pure misery. Oppression, depression and tyranny. This gang is a menace to society. On SKN, this ain't no joke. Like the whole country going up in smoke. While Mr. Smiley and 10 money one busy fighting, jacking for position. Lord have mercy upon all of we. With this menace to society. Society, them are enemies of the state. Lord of mercy, under the weight of the lies, they need their honor show. They got to go, they got to go. These menace to society, them are enemies of the state. Lord of mercy, under the weight of the lies, they need their honor show. They got to go. Society, them are enemies of the state. Lord of mercy, under the weight of the lies, they need their honor show. They got to go, oh, they got to go, oh, they got to go, oh, they got to go,